Now we're stuck with the hoopies. It's going to be very much harder for us now because we're still very young and very inexperienced, and we have no real control over our own future. In your superior's opinion, we'll have a lot to learn if we want a peaceful world to enjoy. We have the experience of the past, which you don't. There's no point in trying to persuade you to stay on with me here and continue the same sort of life. Your superiors have decided against it. I don't need to tell you why. They felt that in the view of the seriousness of your position in our affairs, your personal feelings were irrelevant. You might as well take leave and take the next boat home and get on with things as you know them. And it's better for you and yours that we should not become entangled. We have a policy to follow here, and we stick to it, whatever it may cost us in our private feelings. So goodbye. I look forward to the response here. Dear Miss Field, thanks very much indeed for writing back to say that your people don't want you to go. As far as I'm aware, we're not out of danger. The threat to our existence here seems pretty thin. If the hoopy turn nasty against us, then I advise our superiors to move us somewhere more remote. It's just possible the whole business might blow over and nothing will happen. In any case, you won't be required on the field. You are in your mid-20s, and there's not much we can do for you at the moment. You're certainly the right height, but it wouldn't be a suitable role for you at present, and you've had plenty of practice dealing with other species in the galaxy already. It wouldn't be fair to put you under pressure to train another person to the point where he or she could do their job. There are lots of young people in their late teens and 20s that have the qualifications, but we haven't sent for any. I hope your superior will understand this. We needn't trouble her any further on this particular aspect. She has the necessary background to deal properly with your people's concerns. Not mean to say your people. We will let you get to grips with things on a purely individual basis and not ask too much from you as of yet. But in the interest of safety, I think it will be necessary that you keep away from us. I think this would be a good idea, but for reasons which you may or may not agree with. There is some risk attached, and I don't like taking unnecessary chances. Especially not at your age and no particular skills. You can and will have access to, at times, to any information that may come your way in a position that will make you available if anything unusual happens to cause a stir. But in your position of responsibility, I can assure you your own people would be concerned to hear how you're doing, and that is where you need to remain. We would appreciate the opportunity to get to know your family and to give your parents a little peace and rest, at least, if they will take the view I suggest to them. I'm confident that it will all come to a successful conclusion without your assistance, and I'm glad that these latter stages we are no longer require your service. It is a shame to lose your talent. But there's nothing you or your family need feel obliged or ashamed about. I think I've expressed everything fairly. Your employers have a good record of giving the most loyal and dedicated employees who have shown the right attitude and approach to life. If we ever meet, you must believe me, it will be the time and place. Until then, please pass my best, regards, and all that. With love, Mrs. Phoebe Call. P.S. I would not like to say more at present. It will make things worse. But I think I should warn you that you are to have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with our organization in any form, whether directly or indirectly, even if you find out who we are. You must not mention it to anyone. Your position would be too dangerous. Your superiors would see it as necessary to terminate you as an agent at once. It might seem strange, coming from your side, that they have never asked us to tell you what we've done, but we don't have any great interest in this kind of thing ourselves, so as far as our position is concerned, breathe in, breathe out. It is simply one of our ways of keeping an open mind about the future. Your superiors are probably right. You have no idea what the consequences would be if you came into contact with any of our people, particularly when your father was a diplomat on Earth, which I gather was before your mother's time. I think we should be on our way. This may be difficult to understand. Maybe something like on the order of a dismissal. The only alternative, I suppose, would be the removal of my superior from her position by whatever method she had available to her in the circumstances. So unless you wish to return home immediately, you would find yourself under arrest, and your superiors would expect us to send the matter on as quickly as possible for investigation to arrange a hearing, which I would attend personally. The other alternative would be to try to kill us if possible. Possible. I've told our superiors what happened. I've also explained to them that you will want nothing further to do with us. We will have to wait to know what you decide, what your intentions and wishes might be, and we'll advise you at a suitable stage of the proceedings to come. We hope it will work out in your favor, and your superiors will look on your decision with a sense of fairness and understanding. I shall do everything I can to smooth things over, and your position with your family and friends on Earth would certainly have been in good shape for the future if our organization had never existed in any respect. You have made a name for yourselves and a certain standard in our field. You're respected as a person of ability in your sphere. You have not let your position become a prison. I should say it will go down as a shining period in the annals. If you are willing to leave now and go quietly, we can avoid causing you distress, but you will know the truth in any case, and I'm sorry to have caused you trouble. We hope you don't blame us. Goodbye, Mrs. You can guess from my reaction to your letter that I did take the letter to my superior at that time. It is the same sort of letter, I suppose, to be sent home to parents. I got, in my case, the circumstances, and with my feelings towards the situation in general. It is a long story that I will not go into now. In a nutshell, it means we were right about the nature of our problem. But at a higher level, I'm a fool to put this in here because I have nothing at stake. Oh Lord. And no responsibility, and if anything happened to me... oh Lord.
Ruby Riot. Ruby Riot, I know Ruby Riot.
Running. I'm a fool to put this in here because I have nothing at stake and no responsibility, and if anything happened to me, you'd be blamed for sending a stupid young girl who didn't understand the way it worked in these parts in the direction I sent you. But I've written to them again today to explain. You're going on your own initiative now to the world where we live, and I hope we have no cause to complain or criticize you. There's one more point I have to clear up with you. When I read the original copy of your message, it seemed very odd. It was addressed as you thought, and I was a bit concerned. It looked as though someone had tried to change it after they left us in this form. and they would not have known what you really looked like and were worried. They may have changed the address. There could have been several things behind it. Perhaps they have found that you have not come home and are trying a second or more approach, and may be thinking about another plan of action if your original letter does get to its intended recipients. I've taken precautions to make it unlikely, and I don't know of anyone in that part of the galaxy, but you are still at large. We have to consider we have to consider the whole thing. Your original message was very convincing, and I can assure you no one would suspect a thing if you came through. So, I am satisfied it is the real one that went back, and so we should be happy. Wow. But your father may have seen some kind of danger in that, and perhaps we need to reconsider our arrangements for the time being. You can have all the help you need to travel from here, but if they find you before we've finished, I would have to be an armed attack. I can't take the risk of sending any of our people near. Wow, that's it. Gotta think. I'll send a couple to keep a careful eye on things from the sky, and I hope to God nothing goes wrong. The last time we saw any of your people in our system, there must have been some pretty bad feelings. This isn't the place to discuss things properly. If I ever get home, you can come along. It's better to do things this way. Sorry, goodbye. Your father. Speaking of himself in the third person.
Hello.
We had a little trouble with that planet at the beginning. There's a very powerful religious force there who are using your mother as their instrument in what they call a mission. I don't believe in these people myself. It was necessary to use an army of some size. It wasn't easy. I lost a good number of our own in the battle. We lost quite a few ourselves. The other party have been forced to withdraw from the surface, and now our own army is advancing. We will have it in control within a few days, I hope. We don't want to leave the world as we are, but there's a great feeling of satisfaction among us. I don't think the religious faction will return. They have been discredited by what happened. It's possible you might think of us as being a sort of secret military government in the way we have done with some planets. I can tell you this much, your mother was an important factor. She had been chosen by the group in the first place, but she refused to continue the way things developed. It may be that she influenced the other members, but we never found out, and you're right. She's been arrested for treason. It's believed that she would have betrayed the cause for the information was needed urgency for certain reasons. We had the support and the cooperation of many planets for a period, and we would have succeeded except the situation changed. And we had to act with speed. And I always admired her for what she did in the past. I feel sure we shall see each other when the time is right, though you must be warned of the possibility. You are free of our organization now, so we can be open about the details of the matter. don't wish to hurt you. We only wish to be honest and straight with you. We can see the way your family is treating you and how it affects the rest of the world, but I know you are able to deal with these people. So you can look to a good future, but I have to advise you against going near any of our organizations for the present at least. As I mentioned, we have certain ways to ensure that certain of your activities cannot come our way, and you would not like to have anything happen to your parents or brothers. As I'm aware, it may seem unfair, but your world can do nothing but suffer if we have our people interfering in the future. I'm sure you're a very strong young person. We hope you can deal with this in a practical way. You have my admiration. Your mother would be the same age if I knew the circumstances. It may be some consolation to you to know I think she did exactly what had to be done. Whatever you choose in the end, it won't change things for anyone. I wish I didn't have to go on. Goodbye. I will write to the address given and to our people here. We are expecting a report in a day or two and can decide whether we want to keep any records for later reference in case. In the event. I've got your reply to the message, but the fact you sent me your own copy makes the point rather more obvious than you may have realized. You've no doubt heard the general outline of what we were up to and the trouble, but there's nothing in which will cause problems. Your attitude is quite correct. I should have told you sooner. Your original plan was good. There have been changes made. I had my doubts. I thought we could get the job finished with fewer casualties and in one blow. We failed. The cost of it all has been borne. Has to be borne. Well, you might sound hard. I hope I have done anything in my power. It isn't something I would have liked to see either way, but there you are. I've taken a chance. Nah. If I can arrange the whole thing quietly, it is the best course. If not, it'll mean you must come along with us with no questions asked. That's up to you. And anytime you can get off home. I don't know the answer to that. I suppose it would depend on your attitude to it. It wouldn't be a nice thing to ask. The message was a mistake of a sort. I shouldn't have been too definite. I am so sorry about that. It's true, there were some talk of the family having some connection. It wasn't true in the case of the father, who never had a word to say to him. But your mother is of the blood, and they would have married eventually if it all happened. Your brother is, of course, your brother, so we couldn't just ignore that part, but you don't need any more trouble. You'll be better away from it. That's what we think. And I've arranged for our men here to watch the area and be in position to move right when the right time arrives. I've been careful with you, and the other people have been dealt with the same way. It would have looked odd if you had come back for such an attempt at persuasion, and I have had to have someone keeping you in check for any action that might have been arisen from the fact we failed to contact you. You're now out of it. We will send a message on to your parents at once. Goodbye and God bless. Yours truly, Mr. J.A. I'm glad. Oh, J.A. Dyer. I'm glad to see this matter settled. As far as I'm concerned, that you're coming back. And if you can keep your nose clear and not get into a situation like you've been before, you'll be safe and comfortable. with your own people again, able to start your life as it deserves. There are certain points of detail which I feel we left unsettled.
Yeah, there you go.
First, there's the possibility that our people might find you without warning. It would take some courage for a person to do what we expect, and it seems a very long time since we've seen the others, but they have their own reasons. I can tell you this. The organization of ours was built around the belief that we could control certain matters of this sort in a particular sphere. Well, we failed. I mean, we tried. I believe you have to do the job you can and then try the next thing. We've had to change a little, I can assure you. We may never be entirely successful. I know we won't. And if I can be of any assistance to you, you have my complete confidence and you will hear it straight from me, even in your own case, as we are still unsure about you in some ways. It's very strange to think we may see the end in this case. I hope you are now in our hands. I wish I was going to join the family. I like that very much. But we must all have patience. The world can look to the time when the war is past. It may mean 100 years. Goodbye. I'm looking forward very much to the reunion and the story we are not all bound to tell, so I can see what we have done together. But please do remember that this is not the place for it. Your own family is your charge now. There are some matters I can discuss privately and some you have not known about, but there would only be a danger to you. There's always a risk, and it could be very bad indeed in many cases if we're not careful. There is nothing that can be resolved with honesty. Can't be, sorry. I promise you that. I wish you were all here now. I'm sorry, we shall miss each other. Good luck, my friend. We have been through a lot. The end of things has arrived. It seems a bit like an anticlimax in a way, but we had no choice. I have the report to give you, but you'll see for yourself soon enough. All that we could think of did not succeed, and it will have had to be a full-blown attack. Our people here are prepared for it. We've already moved the whole planet. They won't have to go into hiding. We can take a few prisoners and the information we wanted and have a great celebration. I'll make sure you're one of the first in the firing squad. I'm afraid the rest is all over. You've had no chance to get away. It'll be easy to track you. It doesn't matter anymore. The main force can come here in about 4 hours. The other side lost badly. There's a battle to report on and some other news. I suppose you know that by now. It seems they're quite determined, but we've given them too much trouble and it all has to stop one day, so time will have to come. So let's enjoy the moment. The end of things. The final defeat. I suppose you'll have heard the latest news by now, the details.
How you gonna get home?
Okay, yeah.
You will know what the outcome was to you. but that wasn't our doing at all. I hope that we are all in good spirits. It's a very nice way to look at it, and the result should not displease anyone. I have no regrets at all. We've got everything that needs to be done in the world to suit us. If you have to die, it can be of your own accord and with dignity. It can also be because you made the mistake that others have been unable or unwilling to avoid, the kind of death where you know exactly the position on your feet. And if it is a choice of the latter, you will have it at the best as we intend. So I want you to remember what I say to the rest. I think we had the advantage in all these matters, and there are times I think I was chosen to be with the people we have been working to protect. It seems I've done a good job in that, and the wars have started. It's time we went home. It wouldn't have been nice for a drink, but you mustn't feel that the party's ended. Celebrations have just begun. And you can take pride in your efforts. This will not have gone without a trace. We have left an open file with the organization. This means we have an eye on you and your life and your activities, your family, your brothers, and you. I have a copy of your message, which we have intercepted, so we can read that too. We know about it, so you may think this is a long letter. You can read this between the lines and know that the situation is not entirely satisfactory, and we don't intend any harm to come. In time, the matter will have to be dealt with. It may even come to the same result. You can't get far in this business. Your own people will see to it. We have the power to make you talk. I would imagine that they are already aware. You might even be warned. It would be a little help if you could explain it to the people you work with, and if they do you, it is possible that you would not like have taken part, but it's unlikely. It would have caused problems. Anyway, you might have tried. You might have to go along and try again, but it can't happen. Oh, Lord. So sorry about that. So sorry. And as you allow the Doppler to stretch out into less abrasive sound waves, breathe in, breathe out. There are certain matters of organization. Oh, we must have a clear picture in your own mind. There are certain matters of the organization. We have kept quiet. We thought we were being discreet. We failed. It won't happen next time, but if we do this thing properly, the future mankind may never be threatened by these kinds of evil again. People who have to make decisions are watching, and it's already happened.
Good. Yeah, because like it makes more sense for the brand to do this because it takes like a lot of time. They already have existing sourcing plans. It's like so use this for our relationships.
Has already happened.
Mailer for them and we're done.
Alright, this is thinking a lot. This is thinking too much. We are going back. So now we have finished with you forever. It has to end. It will be hard to face it all. And the truth is there are those among you who will find this difficult. But we are going to do what we can to make this whole process seem natural and right. And as though we have not interfered. And that you did everything by yourself. You will have a choice. The other course, and a harder one I think, was the one the family followed. It's no fun for everyone. No fun for everyone. It has to end. You have been lucky. The time has to go, and your own kind will do it. So I have nothing to fear. You'll be missed. Not the people. Not that matter. Not the people that matter anyway. It is the ordinary folk that I'm concerned about. But I suppose they have to know, and we can't pretend. So, and they have to make up their minds to choose. It is that simple. I wish it could have worked out differently. But I'm not sorry, and it was worth a gamble in the long run. We shall all know how things really were, and the future will have its own place. With a wonderful view. Now, there are some small matters I wanted to tell you personally. They aren't important in the main. Oh, sorry. We shall keep them quiet. I'm sorry to be so short, but perhaps one day you will come and we will meet as friends again. It is a pity. We have been very close for a time. Get to the execution already. I was looking forward to seeing what the rest of you would look like. It could have turned out quite interesting. I hope you have enjoyed the experience of working with people. You should have the opportunity when you have it. You should take the opportunity when you have it. Goodbye and good luck. God be with you and give you strength. Breathe in, breathe out. We have done the best that can be expected, it seems. And there's a reward in store. It isn't always like that, I assure you. But if the situation calls for it, then we have to be tested and found ready. Yeah. You are no longer a problem. I hope you will have learned something from it. Slow descent. Don't look back. That is a sure way of failing. Falling. That's a sure way of falling. There's some things that must be left to others to do, and there's the danger, I will admit. But they have made it easy for us. It will all work itself through, and it will come to an end. And you know that as was I. I can only hope it would. Okay. Let's make the next letter involves hold on. A huge twist. Thanks. God. Let it give a
yeah, it doesn't sound like a thing, so like I don't know.
Okay. To my dear sister, we are leaving. We must say goodbye to the other side. That's not such a bad thing. Oh! Just want to give you a chance at a twist. To this first. That. Yeah. You can just stand by and watch what we know all along the summer. But, do stuff like that. Well, okay. Repeating forms. No. No. We will total switching. Is a usual mixture of emotions. I can understand your disappointment at finding that the story does not go in the way you had hoped. We thought of you. That might be clear. It's not a bad place for you either. We would rather have the same arrangement with you. I just don't want anything special just because we're the first people. Well, at least it's the indigenous. The others won't have that kind of privilege, but it doesn't make it any less sad. It was your own decision, and I can hardly think about you as having done a very bad job of it, so I can understand the feelings. Okay, wrap it up. Now there will be more questions. I suppose you know about the family. We don't like to think about that. I hope it'll never happen again. Same goes for the world situation, which is getting out of hand. It's been getting worse every day. You know about that. There's no point pretending, I suppose, so we might as well put it into words and stop beating around the bush. This is all very vague. We've all tried and accept the outcome, but it has to be. It's the way we work. We are not fools. Oh god, this is getting boring. I'm sorry to have wasted time talking. We must all move on. We're the ones that can do what has to be done. It's for the benefit of everybody, even of those that are working to save, and it may mean they suffer a little. Well, that can't really be helped by. Oh god. It is what it is. Let's see if that does it. That was for a moment and has gone. Thank you for that. And this must remain absolutely secret between us because it concerns your plans. Now, that's the person that you talked about to do likewise. I have nothing to say, and that's all I go home. And there's more, of course. And we will meet again soon, and then the real life will start, and we can go back to the old days. The Great Gate. 178 qui Victor Great Reception. Oh, perfect. Oh, perfect. Alright, that was a long road. I gotta go get some medicine. Good night.